We should sit here in silence, no one talk.
I can eat some Cheez-Its and make a really lots of crunching noises.
Yeah. It was a game of chicken, Mike. We just wanted to see who would break first. That's all it was, man.
I thought it was gonna be Keith saying, "I gotta leave at 8, guys. We gotta start."
No, I don't think everything.
Keith would have just did the Keith like he would have started going like,
Keith
like
just
he
starts
does.
chugging the beer.
Anyway, what's going on, everybody? This is a second installment. We didn't think of a fancy name for this. Like some kind of like the mass nerd hype lumber effecta
quorum,
shit like that.
Well, it kind of just happened like
Quorum.
organically with like the last Barleywine. We're like, all right, let's do it again, and now it's turned into this thing.
There you go. Not to screw the pooch there, Sean, but this is the one that Salvaticus, is that a Barleywine too, or?
Oh no, it's not a barley. Oh, are we just doing Barleywines? In that case,
I was joking. I was about to say, like, it could only be Barleywine. That's it. And nothing else but Barleywine. So yeah, last time we all did this, it was the what was it? Poet's Walk from Swar's Family Brewing. That was provided so lovingly by Kyle from No Hate Beer Reviews. What was it? $18 for 4 ounces of beer or something like that?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. And that got mixed reviews. I wasn't a big fan of that beer from the get, but as the more I drank it, I kind of warmed up to it a little bit. I still didn't leave the review loving it, but I found it interesting in the end.
Yeah. It was unlike any Barleywine ever.
Yeah. Given the hype.
And then this one was brought up in there, and then we decided to do this one. And it took me a while to actually get these because they kept screwing up my delivery on this, but it ended up working out in my favor because what I did was I ordered them, and then they only showed up at 3 bottles, and then I needed obviously 2 more, they showed up at 2 bottles. I needed 3 more, and then they kept pushing off the delivery, kept pushing it off. To the point where they felt so bad they gave me 3 bottles of their like coffee stout, like a vertical of like their base coffee, their chopped mocha coffee, and then their barrel aged coffee stout just on the house. I was like, winner. Yeah. Keith now wants to call them just to kind of fuck with them and try to get them to mess up shipments and stuff or something like that. I don't know.
Did you have to prove that you had an order?
Oh, I was got an echo.
Oh, yeah.
I do not. That is most likely Mike, because he said something about the chat that he's on a delay. So I would assume.
Yeah, but he's got
earbuds in.
Yeah.
Is it me?
But since he's delaying,
every once in a while it'll do that,
and
then it goes away because like it's not doing it anymore.
Oh,
yeah.
I was gonna say, did you have to prove that you even had an order, or can I just call them and be like, hey, you forgot my order?
No, they knew. They know because the way their process works, they actually text you like a human texts you throughout the trip. Like, hey man, I'm about 20 minutes away. I'll be by soon. Blah 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 blah. So they knew, and the guy who set up the kind of return, because since they missed it, they had to set up a new return trip in their system. He kept on top of it and stuff like that. But anyway, so if nobody knows, because they didn't feel like reading the title, we're going to be doing Kane's Vengeful Heart, which is a blend of bourbon barrel aged and American barley wines. So basically, took a portion of Vengeful Heart from previous years. I'm the second person, only the other person in this group to have this beer would be Keith. What did we have it last year, Keith? During the summer, I think it was.
It was last year's. Right, I don't remember when.
It had to be right before lockdown, probably. Right?
Yeah.
So probably it comes out in February, so it's probably around like March or something like that before everything got crazy. And And this is an interesting beer because one, it's American barley wine. That's not all that interesting, but I'll save the interesting parts for when you guys actually drink it because I want to see what you guys think of it because I have it's a unique beer. Let's put it that way. But this is the first year they've actually taken a past portion, barrel aged it, and blended it with a fresh one. So all previous years previously were just straight non-blended American barley wine with no barrel aging kind of component to it. So this is that release. Like they didn't release the base and this. This is now what Vengeful Heart is. I don't know, moving forward or what. You know what I mean? But they didn't release a base Vengeful Heart. This is just, hey, here's our Vengeful Heart. Have at it. So it'll be interesting to see what's what.
Interesting. I wonder what their thought process was. Like, did something happen to the regular batch and they just had an extra from last year? Like, let's just blend it. It'll be fine.
I wonder if getting the hops was an issue to do a full.
I don't think Kane has any problems getting hops though. You know,
maybe.
Yeah, I mean they're pretty big.
Maybe they have friends who had trouble getting hops, so they shared the wealth or something. But
to be honest with you, knowing Mike Kane and how he functions, he just felt like fucking doing it, so he fucking did it. You know what I mean? That, or because he's always tinkering with shit. He likes blending. It's like his favorite thing to do. But there's also the nefarious side of things. Maybe this year's batch was a little bit wonky, so they decided to blend it out to balance it out. Who fucking knows? You know what I mean? Like maybe they made this year's batch and it was way too aggressively hopped because it wasn't an aggressively hopped beer to begin with. So maybe they're just trying to kind of cool it down a little bit. There could be 19 billion different reasons. So everybody here's had Kane beers before, right? Keith has had a ton. I think I've sent all you guys Kane beers previously. And it's probably been a lot of their base beers, right? Keith or Kyle, I think I sent you, it was like a Belgian pale ale or something like that. It was a blue can.
Yes, the blue. Yeah, I'm a visual guy. It was a blue can.
And did I probably sent you all one of these. Did all you guys have that one yet?
Which one's that?
Sneak Box is like their staple.
Yes, I think we got that as a mystery beer. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, Kane. Let's read the back. Anybody want to read the back because I suck at doing that kind of stuff?
We can take turns.
Sure.
I'll read it. Oh, go. Sean wants to read it?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, let Sean do it. Sean's good at that stuff.
Okay.
I like it.
All right, so it starts off with a red glass, and then words. This year's Vengeful Heart is a unique blend of bourbon, barrel-aged, and dry hop barley wines. We pulled a portion of last year's release and aged it in a 7-year Buffalo Trace bourbon barrels for close to a year. For the fresh component, we brewed a high-gravity barley wine with a single malt British Chevalier and boiled it all day to develop its dark color and unique malty character. After fermentation, we dry hopped the fresh batch with Simcoe, Citra, and Chinook. The resulting blend is overwhelmingly tilted towards the barrel-aged component, but the addition of dark fruit, fig, and toffee from the fresh barley wine and citrus, pine, and resinous character from the hops adds depth and complexity to the final blend. The end.
13% alcohol by volume.
13% alcohol.
And I want to spill the beans on previous tastings of this beer, but I don't want to do it. So I think we should just kind of jump.
Let's get into it.
I want to see. I want you guys to kind of tell me what you're thinking. Oh, and I gotta go get my glass. Okay, I'll be back.
And we were making fun of Keith for not showing up. You don't even have a glass.
We were doing so well. Maybe opening the beer before the 10-minute mark, but I don't know.
I don't know. We're at 9:03, Kyle. We could still save this.
Let's see. First time ever.
But
we're on the double-digit mark.
First sip will be around 15 minutes, probably. Or first sip will be like, Keith's like, I gotta go.
So the reason why I didn't have my glass because I audible to the same exact shaped glass that you guys are going to be using.
Oh.
Nice.
And there's Mike with his TQ. He's like, God damn it, guys.
Leave Mike alone.
Okay.
Off the top?
Yeah.
Okay.
And to be fair, Mike, the only reason why I didn't use my Kane TQ is I forgot I gave it to my brother-in-law. One day he's like, I really like that glass. I was like, take it. I got 9 billion of them, man. I was like, I don't need it. Ooh, right there.
I'm actually not sure why you wanted me to read the back, because I don't know if you watched my unboxing, but I had the hardest time trying to figure out what they meant by blend of bourbon barrel aged and American barley wines. Like Mike had to explain it to me like I was 5 years old.
I did. But here's the thing: you read it perfectly. You just didn't compute the
Yeah,
what
my
they're
brain was
trying
just
to
like,
say. So,
nope.
yeah, the words came out fine, but you're just like, how does that make sense?
But did anyone notice that Shaun did not read the back of the bottle perfectly? He missed an entire line.
I did?
That's fine.
Yes.
Leave Shaun alone. That's my role in this live stream. Anytime
Thanks,
someone picks
Kyle.
someone else, leave them alone.
I'll tell you what. That's pretty much exactly what I want barley wines to look
Yeah.
like.
This looks gorgeous.
It looks like melted Rolo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's that just rich doo-doo water brown that I love so much in barley wine.
Oh, yeah, that looks gorgeous.
Nice caramel head color, some legs. It's a beautiful looking beer. Besides it look like doo-doo water, it's a very beautiful looking.
Mine is pretty dark, like almost stouty, but I think it's the light. Yeah, it's the light.
When I hold it to the light is where I see the brownness.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Any thoughts? Or dive in the nose?
I'm already getting a
Oh.
nose. This thing is. Let's get a
Yeah.
nose.
Definitely different from what I remember, and not in a negative way, just a different way. Like very rich, very. They call it American barley wine. It's almost certainly an English barley wine. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're getting the caramel toffee, you're getting a little bit of molasses, things like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's not as pungent with the hops as I thought it was going to be, given the style they said it was.
There is a hoppy
Yeah.
character, but yeah, not as much because
Yeah.
the way that they're saying dry hopped, I would expect it to be more of a burst.
Yeah, but fair game to them. They said, how did they pronounce it? It says it tilts. And they say
Tilts towards the barrel, yeah.
And is overwhelmingly tilted toward the barrel age component. So they're calling it out. You know what I mean? Then again, they're tasting it before they write the label up. So no, I think it smells fantastic. There is a little bit of hop, like resin. I don't even go resinous to it, but a kind of sort of that to it. But it's so rich and sticky and Dayton figgy toffee, caramelly, almost Tootsie Rolly to a certain extent that it just beats that hoppy part down. You know.
For the hoppy part, I would say out of the three hops, I think it's the Chinook that's coming through. It's got that like old school Chinook kind of vibe going on, like just that little bit of hop is that's what I'm getting for it.
That's fair.
What about you, Mike? You got a perplexed look on your face.
Yeah, I'm not getting like a strong hoppy component at all. I'm sort of getting like caramel and fig and apple, and it's overwhelmingly sweet and sticky. I'm not getting any like really noticeable hop component at all, honestly.
Yeah. I'm getting like a tiny like pine thing.
Yeah.
And a little bit of like not big at all, but I am getting like a slight pine thing and like kind of like an orange marmalade jam. I think there's a different way to describe that. It's more whatever. I'm just gonna stick with orange marmalade.
Fair enough.
Yeah, if I was going to go with the bittering and what you're kind of talking about, it's more of like, it was said that before with barley wines. I probably did it in the last one. Is like the spiciness you get from like blackstrap molasses, like that herbal kind of Ricola-y kind of herbal spicy, not minty, but kind of spiciness that you get in like that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I could see that.
chug it.
Cheers.
Cheers, fellas. And thank you, Matt.
Yes, thank you, Matt.
Now this is the beer I remember.
This is exactly the beer that I wanted. This is my first beer of the day, and like this is yeah.
What a mouthfeel.
Yeah.
I was not anticipating that, actually.
It's somehow both icky, sticky, but fluffy and creamy at the same time. It's like
I don't remember the last time I had a beer that did this. Like just that specific. I'm never talking about taste. Like, yeah, that is wow.
It's making me feel like, because I got my second dose of vaccine 2 hours ago. It's making me feel like it fucked me up or something. like I'm like, is this what this tastes like? I don't. Did the vaccine give me COVID?
in a good way or a bad way, Keith. No, I'm serious. Does it taste good for you or bad? Because this is different than what we had, but in a different way. It has parts of that. It makes sense.
No, it's good.
I want everybody else to talk about what they get, and then I'll go over what the original beer was like, which I can taste in here, but might not be totally apparent.
Like there's this big Tootsie Roll thing I'm getting.
Yeah, I can see Tootsie Roll. And like that Rolo there too, because like with like the caramel and the toffee and the chocolate, it all is this one giant like.
Yeah, for me, it's coming off more like chocolate.
So I'm going to build off of what Keith said. I do think that like the aroma, there's a lot going on, but it's almost like Cascadian dark ale, or like I do think it's a barley wine, but like that chocolate thing, and then I am getting some of the hops like a black IPA, kind of a thing like. I would almost believe if this was a barley wine, like Russian Imperial Stout blend. Like I wouldn't like if this was a blind beer, I'd be like I could see it being that too.
No.
Now, is anybody here? Is anybody here getting like Spirit and Barrel?
Oh yeah, near the end. Like near the end, it's hot. Like I can feel it going down my chest. But then, like flavor wise, as it finishes, as I'm talking right now, I just took a sip. There's definitely spirit kind of coming, like in the back palate, where it's like barrel, and then it kind of dries off. For me,
so the spirit is coming into your back palate.
Yes.
Okay.
Just realize that. Thanks, guys.
Okay, I wanted to make sure everyone on the internet was crystal clear.
Hey.
That the spirit was coming into the back of your palate.
It's like Ghostbusters.
I was just thinking of Ghostbusters. I was hoping someone was going to say Ghostbusters. Anyway, sorry. It's a family show.
When you started saying that it was coming down to front of the chest, I thought, I think I'm not getting like as much chocolate. I'm almost getting a sort of a medicinal thing, not in a bad way, but it's. I think like that herbaceousness is a little more medicinal.
I could see that.
I'm interested in that conversation.
Go ahead.
No, I'm interested in what you're saying.
Okay. Yeah, but that's kind of. Yes, right now. I'm getting sort of a medicinal thing. I don't think in a bad way. It's just almost like sort of like old school kind of boozy kind of medicinal kind of flavor. I think that Ricola thing you brought up earlier is sort of like that's coming up in my palate just a little bit. As far as like the chocolate thing, I'm almost getting just almost like a hint of like that rich like baker's cocoa powder. I'm not getting that sort of Rolo or like Tootsie Roll thing, but I am getting like strong dark fruit. I am getting big. I'm getting like molasses and stuff like that. But I'm not quite getting like that milk chocolatey Tootsie Roll thing.
Tastes like a.
That's me.
Kind of, after Mike said that, it kind of tastes like a chocolate Ricola. That's what it tastes like a little bit. if they made a chocolate one.
Let me so this is my like I said, I've had this beer several times and it's like one of my favorite beers that they make. And I was really curious to see how the barrel aged version would change it, and it did, and this might make sense to everybody else when I say it because it's true. I swear it's true. You can go watch my old review. This is the weirdest American barley wine I've ever had in my life. because when I think of American barley wine, we all default to Bigfoot. It's kind of like the tent pole, the way we measure all of it, and that is a combination of a richer, more sugary, sweet kind of maltiness. Whereas English barley wines tend to be a little bit softer, a little bit more kind of toffee like, as opposed to being super super sweet. It's a little bit softer, and then they have that big piney resinous. This beer, before it was blended, was actually tropical hopped American barley wine. It was it came off very tropical hoppy. So it was like, think of a double IPA, like a double IPA from 5 years ago. That double IPA hopping in an English barley wine malt base. And I was like, this beer is fucking insane, because if you drank it fresh, you got this big malty citrus tropical fruitiness. But if you let it age a couple years, then you got pure English barley wine, because those tropical hops fade so quickly. So what this is doing, it's added that barrel component, what makes it a little bit more English. But I think the medicinal kind of thing is just that remnant of that tropical hoppiness. It probably is a bit of that Chinook, some of those old school hops, but I'm pretty sure this is dosed with a ton of Citra. And it was such a cool beer before, and I think it's absolutely delicious now. I think they're two completely different beers in a certain sense, but they're connected. And it was just such a fun beer. That's why I talked so lovingly about it when we talked about it previously on shows, is that it was the most unique American barley wine I've ever had. It was basically a new school hazy IPA hopped English barley wine, which is bonkers, but I dug it. So that's why I think that little hoppy presence is more, not as aggressive, because it's more tropical. And I think that barrel aged portion is beating it down a little bit.
I've had a stout that was hopped like that, and it was very interesting to kind of have that stout character with that same vibe. So I can definitely see like what you mean by that. Now, did they ever barrel age this, or it's always just been a base barley wine?
No, this is the first. I mean, let me say, for what I know, I pretty much keep on tabs on Kane quite a bit because I can get their stuff. I don't live far away. I like the brewery quite a bit. I don't remember them ever releasing a barrel aged version of this ever. Not a barrel aged blended or a barrel aged version, period. Now they probably have some one-offs in the brewery, maybe. You know what I mean? I don't know if they had like a unique kind of small bottle release or whatever. But up until last year, which is the bottle I grabbed when me and Keith drank, it was just American barley wine, no barrel aging whatsoever. And then it comes out in February every year, which kind of comes with the timeline of when we're drinking it now.
Yep.
You know what I mean? As far as the time it came out. And prior to this being released this year, there was no like base version release. So, yeah.
Nice.
I remember that beer. It's like one of the ones that sticks in my head because it was like, it was so, like the contrast was so whatever, because it was like, it was super tropical.
Like, well, it was one of the few beers, not few, but it's one of those beers when I give Keith, he's like super ecstatic about, because usually Keith, he's like Eeyore, he's a misanthrope. He just wants to kind of hate on everything. You know what I mean? But like that one, he's like, he starts doing the Keith grunt. So I was like, ooh, he likes it. You know what I mean?
and then I'm like, you bought like 2 cases of this, right? And
he was like 1 bottle.
He bought like 2 cases. That's funny. Hey, but is that the barrel or the hops, you think, having had it before?
What?
I get a little bit of coconut. You think that's the barrel or the hops?
It's got to be the barrel. Because I don't remember ever getting any. Yeah. And it's got a decent amount of barrel character to it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm surprised about a barrel you actually get in the beer itself, because I think you get the bourbon and I think you get like a little barrel char, a little kind of what's what from the barrel. So, yeah.
No, for sure.
Yeah, the more I drink it and the more it warms, the more kind of it opens up and the more barrel comes through, the more. And what you said, Kyle, coconut, which I didn't get coconut, but I was thinking there was some other sweetness kind of in there, which coconut makes sense. But yeah, this is freaking great.
No, this is really good.
Did you expect something completely different?
I don't know what to expect. I think all the Kane beers I've had, they're probably just been hoppy beers, like either pale ale or an IPA. I probably had a stout or two at a beer festival, or I could have even had this at a beer festival. I just was too drunk to remember it, right? But like everything that's in my memory of Kane is just like hoppy stuff. So I wasn't really sure what to go with on this, other than that it was a blended barley wine, and I actually thought that was normal until now.
I mean, going back to Bigfoot, I was thinking their bourbon barrel aged Bigfoot, just as a starting point. But
yeah, I mean, you're talking about this compared to bourbon barrel aged. A fresh bourbon barrel aged Bigfoot is way hoppier than this. Like a bourbon barrel aged Bigfoot needs to be sat for 5 years. You know what I mean? Like regular Bigfoot needs like 15 to 20 to 30 years on it. Mike, I'm curious. You're like, it's like you're drinking angry or something, brother. I'm curious. You're like looking at it like you mean mugging it at the glass.
No, it's funny because I'm, in your descriptor of the original beer, I'm not quite getting any of that. Even though you did say it's the most interesting maybe you said original sort of American style barley wine. Even though I'm not getting noticeable notes of that original beer, I would still argue this is probably the most original American barley wine I've ever had. It's really quite astounding. It has so many different components that I wouldn't even say should work together, but they do. It's really delicious. But every sip, I'm getting something different, or I'm noticing something different. I'm sort of peeling it apart. But it's really wonderful. This is a wonderful beer. I really appreciate you sending this.
And I'm glad you guys got to have it. But and just to kind of clarify on what I said, and like, I'm not saying that tropical hops of the original beer are there. My guess is that that's the thing that morphed into the medicinalness of the beer. You know what I mean? Like that tropical hop has been the age portion of the show and everything's kind of morphed down and become that Ricola-esque kind of medicinal thing.
Makes sense.
I did understand that, but what I'm saying is though is that even the original, if that one is so interesting, wholly of its own, and it's still unlike any like American barley wine I've ever had. It's really really nice.
Yeah, Kane's barrel aging program is up there. Like they're like it's banger after banger, pretty much when they produce beers. The only other reason why I think this might have been barrel aged as opposed to straight barley wine is that they've had a little bit of blowback and they've gone from 750 milliliter bottles to 500 milliliter bottles over the past 3 years. So they were doing like 500 milliliter bottles of Imperial barrel aged stout for $17, and then started releasing 500 milliliters of barrel aged Imperial stout for $18. So you were like spending more and getting less. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing, double dipping. So I don't know if they're like, oh, let's just barrel age it so it comes off as, you know what I mean? Like as like more of a price. The price jump doesn't make that big of a difference. Plus his barrel aging, he has some kind of technique with barrel aging where he like actually like constantly not constantly, but like he has a warehouse full of beers that are just for barrel aging. And what he does is he rotates the barrels every so often, which is kind of like a no-no when it comes to like barrel aging beer. You let it sit and you don't fuck with it. But he does this thing where he rotates, not spins them, but he rotates the barrels like from bottom rack to top of rack. To like try, I don't know, it has to do with something like warming it up and cooling them down, and somehow that in the way he does it hypothetically extracts more flavor from the barrel over a shorter period of time rather than have the barrel at a static temperature. You know what I mean? It's expanding and contracting in this way that it kind of helps pump out kind of flavor from the barrel. So this barrel aging program is pretty awesome. So and let's put it this way. Like, this is a blend. Like, if I drink this blind, I would just be like, this is a barrel aged beer.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't be like, oh, this is a blend. I might call it a blend of another barrel-aged beer, but I wouldn't say this is just a non-barrel-aged beer. I think if I did this as a mystery beer, I'd be like, oh, this is a barrel-aged beer for sure. You know, so who knows what the percentage is in the blend, but, you know, it's pretty robust for a blend.
Yeah.
My opinion of sort of the barrel component is in such, you know, sometimes like, you know, it's a little bit you know, barrels can be a little bit gimmicky, and I usually love them anyways. That's not an issue, but it's almost weird. Like this one, maybe because the blend it actually feels like a organic component of the beer. Like all the things really are worked together in such a wonderful way. Like because of it is nice and sweet and sticky and all those things. Although not cloyingly sweet. That barrel has this really nice, smooth, drying thing that makes me want to keep on sipping it. Now, you say I keep looking at this thing like I'm angry at it. I'm just confused by it. You know, because I'm really, really blown away. I'm blown away. You know?
That's funny.
I love it. I love this beer. I think it's outstanding.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to try to see if I can get my hands on this next year. And I'm curious to know if they do the same kind of idea next year or if they go back to the just regular non-barrel aged.
Yeah, that I'm curious about. But also it's stuff like this. And the thing about these bottles, like some of their stuff sells out, but you know, like this is on their website for a month. You know, it wasn't like it was like sold out. Like I bought a day of just in case. You know what I mean? It's sold out. But I looked, and you know, the day they delivered it, it was still available for purchase, and that was by the time they delivered all of it, it was like almost just short of a month later. So there's some like they do. We drank one of their bottles at Beer Tube of Palooza, which was Night to End All Dawns, but that bottle was a little bit sideways. But that's like their Night to End All Dawns, and a couple of their other beers are very kind of coveted beers. But a lot of their other beers are kind of like, I don't want to, they're not shelf turds, but they sit for a bit. Like they do their anniversary beer, which is a Belgian quad. And because that's where the owner like loves Belgian beers, and it's a Belgian quad, but it's like the new school Solera method Belgian quad. Like it's like the brewery kind of with their anniversary beer. Every single one has batches of every single previous year in it. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, a multitude of years. And I think they're up to year 7 or 8 now. That's something like that. And their barrel aging program is just so great, man. Next time we, when COVID's over and you guys come down, we'll make that trip. It's not that bad. It's like an hour and a half. We'll make a trip down there. And
Nice.
that whole area down there is really good for beer. But yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. I just want to get together and I'm just going to be happy to be there at that point.
Yeah. No, believe you and me. Same thing, man. I can't wait. I feel like we're inches from the tape. You know what I mean? Like we're so close, but I also feel like someone's just gonna fuck it all up, man. Somehow. Like I don't know how. You know what I mean? But somebody's gonna Scooby-Doo the shit out of something and fuck it all up, you know? Yeah. Okay. So I don't know what else you guys want to talk about. I like it. I think it's delicious.
No, it's awesome.
Does anyone know where I can get a lava lamp from?
I was thinking the same thing.
No. Does anybody know where Kyle can get a phallic shaped lava lamp? Like more phallic than usual. Like, because there's lava lamps and there's that lava lamp, which is like kind of like it's kind of a red rocket, but it's not really.
Keith, now is that yours or is that Katie's?
It's mine.
Oh, that's Keith. That's Keith through and through. Katie probably hates that thing with every fiber of her being.
No, actually, I brought it over here because I think she said something about a lava lamp or something. So, like for her birthday, I brought it over and bought a new bulb for it.
Oh, okay,
Nice.
Spencer's, you buy it at Spencer's?
No, it's like a vintage. It's like a vintage one. My mom got it for me for like my birthday, like 15 years ago or something.
She bought you a phallic shaped lava. Well, she probably didn't realize. She probably didn't think of it at that time. Now that all of your friends are making fun of you for it online. But it is pretty awesome. Like I had a lava lamp as a kid, and I kind of miss it now that I'm looking at it. It's kind of badass.
I was one of those poor kids who couldn't afford one, so I just put like a yellow highlighter in an absolute bottle and got a black light.
I don't want to laugh, but I have to laugh a little bit. I had a green one. My sister had a yellow one. So yeah, that's a brag, but we had two in our household.
Mine was red.
Nice.
Were they expensive? Are they expensive? Do they still make them?
I don't know.
I have no idea. But Mike is actually disgusted now.
I'm pretty sure though Spencer's probably is the only place you can buy a lava lamp nowadays, though.
The 70s were a long time ago, guys.
Yeah. We need Amazon to finally realize that lava lamp game and get on their thing, make a couple extra bucks. That company's struggling.
Oh yeah.
Mike, we need to change the lighting setup in here. Maybe some lava lamps will fix it.
Some beads hanging down and everything.
That felt poster in the background, the felt one with the black light reflective shit and stuff like that of like
a panther or something,
Yeah. No, it's Elvis. Yeah, I think it was Elvis.
Elvis riding a unicorn to be really nice.
Fat Elvis riding a unicorn, not normal Elvis, like sweaty fat Elvis. Dying on the toilet while he's riding a unicorn. Okay, so I think that's the end of your video.
And on that note, yeah, this was a great beer.
Oh, back to the beer, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, so what do you guys think? Like in the grand scheme of things, like Shaun was saying, he wanted to get it again. This is like next year, if they definitely come out with like a non-barrel age, even if they come with the barrel age version, we'll probably do this again. But if they do the non-barrel age version, let's say they do a non-barrel age version anytime over the next year, I think we're definitely going to do it just to see the kind of change and difference between that one and this one, because they're both equally good. Like I wouldn't be like this one's better than the other one. I think they're both similar but different, but in a very fun way. And I'll make sure I buy only one bottle for Keith and not a case.
Smart.
Makes
Very
sense.
smart.
How's that?
And I'm thinking, I think we should keep this barley wine only. It's funner that way. Like
you want to do it barley wine only?
So. I think we kind of have to, like, because then like it's going to be a fun little kind of like series of just like us collaborating. Yeah. Does anyone else think that's silly?
No, I think it's fantastic, and we have to think up a really fucked up name for it. Like,
Try the next one.
Yeah.
Okay.
My brain's churning right now on like, yeah. We'll figure it out.
There's got to be a few. There's got to be a few places that do really good barley. I'm trying to think who local does really good barley wines.
Oh my God, there's so much good barley wine. You know what? Well, I live in Jersey though. That's the difference. I can go on a shelf and be like, Harry, there's 13 bottles of this barley wine from 19 years ago.
I'm more thinking like local.
Yeah.
Because like Trillium does one, but it's not really traditional. It's just loaded with coffee. It's good, but
coffee barley wines, no.
Yeah,
it's okay. I like it, but yeah, it's I think Idle Hands does one actually, don't they, Mike? We can look.
They do a lot of shit that I'll look it up. I can head down there in a few months. So.
Yeah, I'll find something fun. Well, we'll both find something fun.
Now I need to go find 5 bottles of 80 Hardee's.
Yes.
Okay.
All in on that.
You say so.
The funny part is that shit you can buy that shit. Go ahead, Mike.
Sorry, I saw him delay. I apologize. I was at a store not that long ago buying some shit, and I found a vertical of Bigfoot, the like 4-year vertical.
So
I forgot about that. Soon.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot you got that.
Nice.
Like it was packaged together as a 4-year vertical, like in like a box and stuff, or it was just a 4-pack. Like I'm curious.
It was a 4-pack.
The store I think did it, but it was 2016 to 2020, I think, or 2017 to 2020.
Do you mind if I ask how much it cost?
It was cheap. I think I might have paid under $10 for it.
that's great.
Jeez.
Well, I mean, a six pack of Bigfoot is like $12.
Yeah.
It comes at six, so that's not a bad deal when it comes to like aging and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yep. And Bigfoot is the best deal for like barley wine ever. Like 6 packs of
the only problem is you have to wait. You have to wait about 40
beer.
or 50 years until it's drinkable. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
A cool 100 years, a cool C note on the aging, and it's just no.
I think I saw a barrel aged Bigfoot with like ginger or something like that from like years ago. It's in a big bomber, corked.
The ginger variant?
Yeah, it's like a ginger variant. I don't know if we drank it. I don't think so.
They did those different variants under the Walk in the Woods series or whatever.
Yeah, yep.
Trip in the Woods.
Trip to the Woods.
Yeah, I think I still have it. That's something we should definitely do soon, Mike.
What was
the last Trip in the Woods we did sucked?
The last what? Oh, the last Trip in the Woods. Yeah, it was terrible. It was the
last one I did was shitty.
Yeah, it was the barrel aged narwhal with Currants. It was awful.
They did
with what?
Currants. Did I not say it? Currants?
Is that how you pronounce it?
Currants?
I always thought currants. I don't know.
Oh.
I thought you said croissants.
That's how you're talking about what's his name?
What a croissant.
Kevin Durant.
Jesus.
No, but they made they did like a barrel age series. Like was that 30-year barrel age series? Sierra Nevada did. I forget what the exact name. It was like there were people's names on it. 30th anniversary. And that shit was Fritz and Ken's. They made, I don't know if you guys saw, this is like pre their Trip of the Woods series. You could find these on shelves. Let me see if I can share the screen. And window. There we go. These right here. I don't know if you ever guys see these floating around.
I haven't seen them, but I've seen them. Not recently.
But you can still find them every now and then. These are fucking cash money. This is an Imperial Stout, but they did a bunch of variants. They did a Barleywine and Imperial Stout. It was for the 30th anniversary, so it was like years ago, at least 6-7 years ago, if not longer. And those are just super banging ones. That's probably my favorite Sierra Nevada beers I've ever had. Outside of Base Narwhal, like Base Narwhal is like just like
Narwhal's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, people sleep on their stuff, and Pale Ale's delicious. I mean, they got a lot of good beer.
Oh, yeah. But I just don't buy it. That's the thing. Like, I walk right by it. But I remember, like, when we went to Disney 2 years ago, like, we were just in the store, and I was like, I need some beer just to drink in the Airbnb, and I just bought a Sierra Nevada mix pack. So it had Pale Ale, right? But then it had Torpedo, and then it had, like, 2 or 3 other beers I never had by them. I think it only mixed up. They had, like, a coffee stout. Everything was just so good. And I remember, like, thinking to myself, like, I'm going to buy this more when I get home. Do I? No. But
we're all guilty of that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the worst part of it, man. Because you're like, you don't try to, like, you sit here and lie to yourself about not being about like the ticking life. Not that we're about the ticking life as far as Untapped goes, but you just want to try new experiences.
Yeah.
And like that outweighs just pleasure. You know what I mean? Like in a weird way, because like I know there's beers that I can go and I'll buy that and I'll love it every fucking time. But I just want a different high, I guess. I don't know.
No,
it's
100%.
weird.
No, that's true.
There was a beer store I used to go to, and when I was living in Hawaii, I used to go get a lot of hair of the dog. And whenever I was there, they had like Sierra Nevada. They would have like Southern Hemisphere hop IPA in like a not a bomber, but big bottles, pretty big. And I got to the point where I was buying like one of those every 3 or 4 days. Like,
nice.
Those beers are so fucking good. Sierra Nevada, like, I think that because of their ubiquitousness, I think they do get a little bit overlooked. But goddamn, I fucking love their beer. Yeah. I do, and I do try to buy a 12-pack of their pale every every 6 months or so. It becomes like a shower beer. It's pretty awesome.
My go-to on Sierra Nevada is a Celebration. Like I buy Celebration every fucking year. I drink the shit out of it. I buy a case pretty much every year and just drink it periodically throughout the winter months. Just like, okay, this is fucking delicious. So that's my probably go-to one for them. Yeah,
that's a good.
We'll have to do maybe a 24-hour straight barley wine stream where all we do is we wake up and we drink barley wine for 24 hours. How's that sound?
How have we not done that already? It's such a smart idea.
I just wanted to see Mike's reaction, and it definitely paid off.
That would be pretty.
Okay.
We could do a 24-hour stream though. We should try to do that one day. Not like all of us stay on for 24 hours, but have it handed off.
And we could all dress up like shitty wrestlers, and we could tag each other and oh yeah, bro, that fucking barley wine. Be like, I'm gonna tell you, gotta go with that barley wine. Yeah.
We could easily make that work.
Every time I get tagged in, it's just
go ahead.
Every time I get tagged in, the camera comes on.
Just 1 hour completely is just Keith dressed up as the Ultimate Warrior, shaking the ropes with one of those beer helmets on, where he's just drinking barley wine. You know what I mean? Sucking on it. You know what I mean? Just like 2 big bottles of fucking Bigfoot, just like.
That needs to. We need to make this happen
until Katie comes and clotheslines him, and he's fucking out.
That's awesome. That's too good.
This might be a little bit, but if this does happen, and that's how Keith's gonna roll, I do have a legitimate WWF Ultimate Warrior, the blue title, legitimate $700. I wore it in one beer video once.
I remember that
with Kyle, and but I'll send it to Keith for that video only.
Oh, jeez, please.
Speaking of Keith getting clotheslined by Katie, don't you need to leave, brother?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Sorry.
I was gonna wait till 10 after, but
no, he wasn't.
Well, we should wrap it up anyway. We're hemming and hawing and just shooting the shit and stuff like that. So, yeah, had a blast, guys. As always, it's pretty awesome.
Fun.
Yeah,
thanks again for the beer.
Thanks. Dude. This was great.
If you're watching my channel, go check out Kyle, Hey Beer Reviews, Shaun from Nerdsense, Mike from Nerdsense, and Keith from 93 Lumber.
And if you're watching on our channel, go check out Kyle, Matt, and Keith.
There you
If
go.
you're watching on my channel, you hacked YouTube because it's not on my channel.
There you go.
Oh, it's no. Oh, what channels are we streaming on?
And Keith.
Keith and Nerdsense in mine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Keith doesn't want to promote our channels, so
you're definitely not watching it on my channel, so.
You know what the best part is? Keith doesn't have to even get on here, and he's like, "Oh, it's on my channel." He's like, "He's
I have a YouTube channel.
I'm gonna go look at 93 Lumber right now and see if anyone's watching on the channel.
So come check out my channel.
Yeah. Everyone should watch Keith. Hell yeah.
Ads. How do you have ads? Oh wait, yeah, Keith. Thanks, YouTube. You have ads on your channel already.
Oh, great.
Keith, you got to monetize.
Oh, actually, I can't.
Yeah.
Actually, it's funny because the first ad I got on Matt's channel after he was like, I'm going to monetize and all this stuff was a StreamYard ad. And I was like, he's playing both sides.
You don't pick the ads, though. They just put them on. I don't know what ads are on my
No, you can pick them.
Wait, really?
Yeah, you can go in. We'll talk about it offline.
Okay.
Anyway, so there you go. We'll talk about it offline. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this little barley wine thing. We'll be doing it again. Apparently, this is just the barley wine hour. The barley wine bruh. And so go check each other's channels out and do all that kind of fun stuff. Hopefully, you guys enjoying some Kane crazy bearded beer reviews from Joe Gansel.
Cheers, Joe.
Guys. That was at the beginning of the stream, but I waited till now to show it, and there you go. So all of you watching now, we're leaving. So goodbye.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Later.